Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So in today's patch, when you go and log in, you might receive a title, the Lindra's Foil. And this will be for those of us who completed the master version of Crown of Keldegonn. Still not available on the preview server. Really sad about that, especially for training for guilds. And so there we have it, just under quest titles, the Lindra's Foil. We completed the master version of the trial and got our exclusive title, so that should float above our head along with those other titles. Now I do have good news for you more casual players, or those of you who can't spend so much to max out your characters. A standard version of the trial is upcoming. And yes, I've been allowed to publicly say that I will be in the process of exclusively and privately testing it. So unfortunately, it's not going to be coming anytime soon with it in regards to the next week or two, probably another 3 weeks, and it might very well be ready to be pushed out. Of course, depending on how many things we say that should be changed. Now, really unfortunately, this infamous Arcane Whirlwind is getting a bit of an adjustment, albeit when it's released with the new Astral Lockbox today, it shall still be in its air quotes bug form. The Arcane Maelstrom, where you can go and deal pretty much massive amounts of damage to your big groups of enemies, is being a little bit toned down, just due to the fact that it should only be able to hit, I believe, 10 enemies, and even if you have 15 enemies, it won't hit 5 of them. And that's exactly how all of these other AoE mounts work right now. For example, this Pegasus power. So in my opinion, the Pegasus power is going to be the best because unfortunately it does have a target cap, but when the Arcane Whirlwind gets a target cap, it'll no longer be the best since it'll still have a maximum amount of targets. Again, this will have to be tested exactly how many targets, but I'm assuming it's going to be exactly the same as all of those other AoE attacking abilities. And we can see with the note here from the patch notes that they have recognized that there's currently an issue with the Arcane Whirlwind. Now, this has been a thing for the past year, if not longer. Within Vault of Stars, all of those top DPS that I've seen were running Arcane Whirlwind. And I made a video on it in the past as well, explaining how it didn't have a target cap and that's why it was the best. And that was a long time ago. Along with the patch notes, this coalescent ward in the Wondrous Bazaar shall be renamed to a coalescent moat. It had its icon changed a little bit, although it should be mythic and not blue. Don't know why that's there. People could still confuse it with a blue moat instead of a mythic moat. And otherwise, the big issue with random queues where people were getting kicked if they didn't actually have certain content unlocked. For example, if I didn't have Rise of Tiamat, the Tyranny of Dragons campaign finished so that I had actually unlocked the trial, then I'd potentially be kicked every time that would pop up. At least that's what people were saying. And same with like the Advanced Dungeon. If you haven't unlocked Lair of the Mad Mage, whenever the queue would choose Lair of the Mad Mage, it would automatically kick you and somebody else would have to fill your spot and you'd go through the whole accepting process again. And it was just very frustrating, especially for those players who didn't have all this campaigns completed and thus all the content unlocked, and they were getting kicked all the time automatically. Apparently they've also fixed up so that when you go and switch your loadout that it won't actually bug out your enchantments. Right now we have another error, failed to switch loadout. Oh dear. So we'll just hit apply to all with companions, click tank trial, still nothing. Apply all with mounts, try now, still nothing. We'll apply all to these enchantments and it looks like we can switch. Oh dear. So that's your solution. You're going to have to click apply all to loadouts on your enchantments if you get that bug like I just had where I couldn't switch from my tank build to my healer build. Oh dear. Well, they still have bugs with regards to switching loadouts, and if you run into that, that was the solution there. Apply all of your enchantments to all of your loadouts. Can be annoying if you have them spread differently. Again, if you missed my previous video, we're getting the Boots of Misty Step within the Astral Lockbox, along with, in the random companion selection, Minsk and the Owlbear Cob. The book imps there as well, but I guess that's not exactly the most sought after. It's just pretty rare. And lastly, those tanks out there who possibly have been using the new set from this Echoes of Prophecy campaign, the Jewel of the North, and then you have the locket and the belt to go with that. That set would give you that 15% extra threat generation, and that was never working. So they finally got around to fixing that. Epic. All of you tanks out there would have been deceived to be using it. But otherwise, today we will be getting the Wondrous Bazaar discounted event where we get essentially 15% off. Along with that, we're getting the Astral Lockbox returning with those changes I've just mentioned. And to go with that, we're also getting the Harvester of Nightmares returning back, where you can get your tokens of achievement and so on, even obtaining enough of those tokens to buy a mythic companion nowadays. And with the delay of Harvester of Nightmares not coming the previous week, we're also getting the Challenge of the Gods pushed out another week. Be sure to go to your claims valuables and claim this Happy Tiger fashion set if you haven't done so already. They've changed it up a bit so that you should be actually able to see your eyes and ears. It's still bugged on live, but just pick it up and double click on it, add it to your collections of appearance library if you haven't done so already. And that's everything for today's patch. Again, when this Astral Lockbox goes live, I'll be testing out a bunch of those, see what kind of drop rates we get. Does have some pretty good rewards now, but again, I wouldn't open the lock boxes if, let's say, you just want a Minsk or you just want an Albert Cup. I wouldn't buy a bunch of those lock boxes to hopefully obtain it. Just wait, let people open the other lock boxes. They can sell those items and you can buy them for much cheaper than they are right now. Same if you want to get those exclusive Boots of Misty Step. So with that said, those are the patch notes. Again, these changes will all be coming to us on PC after today's maintenance. So finally, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. And if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.